Hi, I'm Dr. Dan Shapiro. I'm a plastic surgeon certified by the American Board of Plastic Surgery. I've been practicing in the Scottsdale Paradise Valley area since 1992, and that's all I do. I just perform cosmetic or aesthetic plastic surgery. I love doing facial surgery. A lot of people come to me for those consultations. People go on the internet, or they know people that know people. They see my before and afters, and I'm very proud of those. I think I've been born with a very good aesthetic eye, and I think I'm good technically. And a common question that I get with regards to brow lifts per se is, Dr. Shapiro, um, will a brow lift give me a surprised look? And the answer to the question is no. Why does that surprise look happen is it's completely technique dependent. So it really depends upon who's doing your brow lift. One thing to understand is that a pretty brow that looks youthful is not surprise looking. People want a brow that looks youthful, it looks pretty, it accentuates your facial structure, and that usually involves having an arch to the lateral brow, but the medial brow, this part right here, should be nice and low. If you go in a magazine and you look at models, you'll find that the medial brow, this part right here, is nice and low, and that's a youthful trait. Unfortunately, a lot of surgeons pull that brow too high, and that's what gives you a surprised look. Now that lateral brow should be nice and high, not too high that it looks odd or it makes it look like it's satanic or something, but it should be a nice arched brow to a nice low medial brow. How I do that is that it's surgically, I really make a lot of effort not to raise that medial brow too high. There are some techniques that I employ to do that, and I do a lot of brow lifts, mostly endoscopic, but I do them, every kind of brow lift. And that's not something I've ever been accused of, is making a surprise look, and I'm very conscious of that. Now, how can that be avoided is that, unfortunately, you got to go to the right surgeon. A lot of people, some surgeons like that look, and I think that's a very dated look that looks very operated on, and I think it should be avoided. So the best way to avoid that is, A, go on the internet, look at some before and afters, find out if that surgeon does a pretty, a nice brow lift that you like. When you come in for consultation, ask the surgeon, say, Dr. Shapiro or whoever, how do you do your brow lifts? What do you think is pretty? I often or always will have a book next to the consultation table, and I'll show you what I think a youthful brow looks like and how we can get that youthful brow on you. There are some cases where I actually have to lower the brow secondarily. I have patients that come to me after having brow lifts from other surgeons that the brows are way too high. I actually lower those brows, and it makes people look younger, it makes people look prettier, but the best way to do that is to avoid it in the first place. So do your homework. Go to a surgeon that does a lot of facial surgery. You can look on my website. I do, hundreds and hundreds of those procedures are on my website. Find out what you think is pretty, and make sure that your surgeon understands that you think that is pretty, and make sure that the surgeon does what you think is pretty. So you're really in control here. So your destiny is up to you. Do your homework, go to the right surgeon, talk about it with the doctor. If you think that you're a candidate or you'd like to find out about brow lifts, come in for a consultation. Bring in some pictures of what you think is pretty. I'll show you what I think is pretty, and we go from there. Thank you.